Jacob Costa's exceptional talent had captured the attention of none other than the Death Hall Master himself. His path to becoming a disciple seemed assured, if only he could master the profound and mysterious laws of death.
The Death Divine Tree, with its boundless power. I could have achieved in mere moments what takes others years to master. Such an opportunity, now lost.
The Death Divine Tree held more value than all 5 elements divine trees and the Life Divine Tree combined, a treasure beyond measure, beyond price. But this priceless artifact had been ruthlessly stolen from him by Zane.
I just want to curse you to the depths of the abyss, Zane. I swear by all that's holy, I'll flay the skin from your bones inch by agonizing inch.
But his fury, no matter how potent, was ultimately futile. His inferior strength had forced him to watch, helpless and humiliated, as Zane claimed every last divine tree for himself. Though the magical spaces would eventually replenish their precious treasures, the seawater of Sky Mountain would refill drop by drop. New divine trees in the Fuchsia space would sprout from the enriched soil. Time was the one resource Jacob couldn't spare, the one thing he couldn't replace.
1 year. Each dragon envoy has just one precious year. Even if new trees grow, I'll be left with nothing but useless saplings, watching my dreams turn to dust.
Jacob, buddy, I must thank you for the generous gift of those 5 elements divine trees. Such a gracious host. Do let me know if you come across any more treasures like this. I'm always up for another friendly wager.
His taunting proved too much for Jacob's already fragile composure. With a choked gasp of despair and rage, he spat a mouthful of blood and collapsed unconscious onto the cold ground. The moment Zane left the Fuchsia space, opportunistic cultivators emerged from their hiding places like jackals, swooping in to secretly carry away the few remaining divine trees while Jacob lay senseless. Returning triumphantly to his Newland space, Zane wasted no time securing his prizes. On the rest of the earth, he meticulously planted over 100 divine trees, each one radiating different types of spiritual light in a dazzling display. The multicolored radiance created an ever-shifting rainbow of mystical energy that painted the air in breathtaking hues, a sight that could entrance even the most jaded cultivator.
Perfect. The magic soil and Sky Mountain seawater are working even better than in their original home. These trees will flourish here.
The divine tree's roots burrow deep into the enriched soil like living serpents, seeming to pulse with vitality as they establish themselves in their new environment. Suddenly, the soil erupted in a spectacular display as exactly 30,000 verdant frogs burst forth into flight. The massive swarm coalesced into an ominous black cloud in the air, drawn inexorably to the central life divine tree like moths to a flame. They twisted and turned in mesmerizing patterns, sometimes arranging themselves into the shape of a small knife, their saw-like teeth glinting menacingly in the spiritual light.
The verdant frogs! How could I have been so careless to forget their voracious nature? I must stop this before...
But before he could take action, an astonishing sight froze him in place. As quickly as the insects devoured the life divine tree's leaves, new ones sprouted instantly in their place, gleaming like the finest jade in the ethereal light.
Extraordinary! The life divine tree truly embodies its name in every way. It's actually fighting for its own survival.
For half a day, Zane stood transfixed by the bizarre spectacle unfolding before him. Then something even more extraordinary and terrifying began to unfold. Without warning, the verdant frogs turned savage, their razor-sharp, saw-like teeth tearing into their own kind with horrific ferocity. Pieces of broken limbs fell from the sky like grotesque rain, plopping into the soil like masses of jelly. The cannibalistic madness spread through the entire swarm like wildfire, turning the air into a battlefield of insect against insect.
They're devouring each other. In all my years, I've never witnessed anything like this. Should I intervene and stop this massacre? No. This must be the effect of consuming the life divine tree's essence. Something profound is happening here. I must observe where this leads.
The cannibalistic frenzy raged on for exactly 30 minutes, transforming the peaceful grove into a scene of unimaginable carnage. When the bloodshed finally ceased, only 1,000 remained of the original 30,000 verdant frogs. The survivors had undergone a startling transformation, their bodies darkening like storm clouds gathering before a tempest. One by one, they burrowed into the soil, cocooning themselves for what promised to be an extraordinary metamorphosis.
The Life Divine Tree's power has triggered something unprecedented. I must witness what emerges from this transformation.
With that thought foremost in his mind, Zane retreated to the dragon prison to refine the remaining energy of the Ghost King Dragon Ape within his devouring dragon bloodline. 5 days passed as Zane remained focused on his cultivation, completely unaware that news of his victory and audacious theft had spread like wildfire among the dragon envoys of Wormhaven, sending shockwaves through the cultivation world. In the death hall of the Wormhaven Palace, Jacob knelt trembling before a tall man whose powerful aura mirrored his own.
Brother, I beg your forgiveness. I failed miserably to claim Newland space. I did worse. That, I allowed Zane to steal all the 5 elements divine trees, even the Death Divine tree itself.
The tall man's hand struck like lightning across Jacob's face, the sound reverberating through the hall like a crack of doom.
You worthless fool! You've brought shame to our entire lineage.
The tall man was William Flameblade Costa, the brother of Jacob Costa. He suddenly came to his senses. Before him stood a middle-aged man in his 50s, his face radiating waves of malevolent energy that seemed to darken everything around him.
Hallmaster, I must seek your forgiveness. My failure to guide my brother has led to this disgrace. The precious item you sought. It now lies in Zane Martel's hands, all because of my inadequate oversight. The responsibility is mine alone.
The air around William rippled and distorted like heat waves rising from molten lava. His presence alone spoke volumes. This was the unmistakable aura of a cultivator who had achieved the legendary Marshal King level.
The Newland space, it should have remained under my control. But now that the 5-year limitation has expired, my authority there is gone. What troubles me most is that the item we concealed there has begun showing signs of activity. If you'd permit me, I could personally handle its retrieval.
Your negligence in this matter is beyond excuse, William.
The master of the Death Hall's fist crashed against his black iron throne, sending reverberations throughout the chamber that made the very air tremble.
You stand here wielding the power of the Marshal King level, yet you speak of personally confronting someone who hasn't even reached Semi-Marshal King? Have you lost all sense of pride? Such actions would bring nothing but shame to the Death Hall's name. Listen to me carefully. The methods you and your brother choose are your own concern. Retrieve that item from the Newland space by whatever means necessary. But remember this above all else. None of the other Hallmasters can learn of this matter. Do you understand?
As you command, Hallmaster.
Meanwhile, in the Dragon Prison, Zane's cultivation had reached a crucial moment. Waves of energy rolled off his body like steam, streams of flowing light swirling around him in an ethereal dance. With a final surge of power, he broke through. Zane had reached the early 8th stage of the expert level, yet this was just the beginning. His devouring dragon bloodline still contained vast reserves of the Ghost King Dragon Ape's energy, waiting to be refined and absorbed. His power continued to soar upward like a rocket, transcending through the early, middle, and late 8th stages of the expert level in rapid succession.
The Ghost King Dragon Ape's power. It is beyond my wildest expectations. This could even accelerate my breakthrough to the Marshall King level without deviation. But first, alright, I need to master Deca of Nature. It's time to venture beyond these walls and seek new knowledge.
Leaving the prison, Zane made his way to the Life Divine Tree. There, he found an extraordinary sight. The verdant frog seeds had flourished into robust seedlings, each standing 40 to 50 centimeters tall and emanating faint vital energy. But something was different. Strange black and white patterns now adorned each plant, extending from roots to the very tips of their branches. After his departure, something stirring occurred. The massive door of the empty space began to distort, forming rippling waves in reality itself. Through these ripples stepped William, followed closely by Jacob.
Brother, how is this possible? You're no longer the Dragon Envoy. How can you still enter this space?
Before I left, I made certain adjustments to the formation. We can slip in during Zane's absence. Now, find what we came for.
Jacob's eyes locked onto the colorful five elements divine trees, their natural energy radiating brilliantly. His vital energy condensed into a massive spectral hand, reaching for the trees while William watched silently.
Zane may have stolen these divine trees, but today they return to their rightful owner.
Just as the ghostly hand neared the Death Divine Tree, 8 streaks of black smoke materialized, tearing through the void itself and shattering Jacob's energy construct.
Show yourself, intruder!
The smoke streams converged, forming a wraith-like shadow without limbs or features. Only 2 piercing eyes gleamed in the darkness.
How the mighty have fallen, the noble Costa family, reduced to common thieves. What would your elders say about this disgraceful display?
Its voice was impossibly hoarse, its age and gender indeterminate, sending chills down their spines like death's own touch.
You're from the Ghost Manor?
William quickly moved to shield his brother, his usual composure crumbling. Even the normally arrogant Jacob trembled at those words.
Ghost Manor. It truly exists.
The Ghost Manor has business here. Leave now, if you valued your lives.
Why have you appeared in the Newland Abyss? Could it be because of that thing?